I don't know what is the deal with me. There's like so I think I represent the rebellious one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that, said no to production and then didn't let it define me. I went and did my own thing anyway. And then I came back and I broke all the rules. I did the shows they didn't want me to do. I talked about the stuff they said you can't. I went up against the people they said you should never say anything to. Like, I just said, no, I'm a rebel. I'm a Bravolebrity rebel.
Hi, Ivory Tower Boiler Room listeners, community. This is so special because I don't always deliver a pop culture gossipy episode, and I usually am not drinking rosé. So, something is about to happen. I first need to put on my sunglasses because my eyes are kind of hurting me. So I am joined with the one and only Dana Wilkey. Hi, Dana.
Hey, Andrew, how are you?
I'm good. I mean, are you curious how much my sunglasses are?
Yes, I am. Please do tell me. Okay. Go ahead. I'm waiting.
$10. $10.
So you have to say, did you know?
Well, did you know $10?
You just say, did you know $10?
And the reason, Dana Wilkey, I need to just say she is such a gossip analyst, scholar, coming from the university world. Dana, I really think that you are a prominent pop culture analyst. You have made it as a pop culture scholar. So
I'm so proud of myself.
Well, I am just so excited because I know the majority of the interview is going to be about Dishing Drama Dana, which is Dana's podcast, Patreon. I know you're going to plug and get into it, but I have your voice running on a loop from all of this beginning seasons of Beverly Hills. I think I've analyzed every time you're on a Beverly Hills show to the point of knowing what your facial expression looks like. So
I really appreciate, like I always say, it's not quantity, it's quality, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes. And if those listening want to, and they should, definitely go to Dishing Drama Dana, the beginning of your podcast. Like, I had never heard the first few episodes, and I got through about 3 before our interview time. And your first episode is hilarious, Dana, with your sister.
Yes, a lot of, I always tell the people in the Patreon that I write the episodes in mind that I don't want them to become outdated very easily. So I want people, when they get in there, if they want to start from the very beginning and go all the way up to, I think we're on episode, 70. And pretty close on the confessional videos and the other things to about the same number. And I want them to discover oh, wow, episode 1 is, for example, about, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, season 1, 2, and 3, which a lot of people believe are the best seasons of that franchise, the beginning season. Some people say that's because it was the beginning. Other people think it was the cast chemistry. Other people believe that it was it was so authentic because it really was the way everybody was. There was no trying to be cool or trying to attract the Bravo audience. It was what it was, when I used to leave brands on my clothes, I literally all the housewives used to make fun of me because who is that Money Penny or whatever back? I'm 50 years ago. She used to always in these ads wear a hat with a price tag hanging down. I think her name is Money. This is way, way, way before you were ever born. But like the housewives, my friends are, 50 to 70 years old now, right? Like Lisa Vanderpump, and people would say, make fun of me, and they'd say, I can't, like, why do you leave your brands on? I think they were trying to shade me, like I was going to return them or whatever.
Well, a lot of the housewives do return clothes, Dana, don't they?
Now I guess they do. But back when I did it, it was truly because I'm a very discombobulated person. And I just, I don't know whose bright idea was to put price tags on the back of your shirt, but like, I don't know. Like, when you have a lot of shirts, you put them on, you forget to take the tag off, and then you don't know because it's behind you.
Yeah. Well, and you say discombobulated, but I say you're so empathetic, Dana. Like it comes through in your episodes, or just, I've been watching the SaraJane Warner. I know you and Sarah saw me with your YouTube that you do for Dishing Drama, Dana. Everyone needs to see your reunion recaps with SaraJane Warner. They are so good.
And that's a different thing, Andrew, actually. Okay. So just so everybody knows, I don't need to make this like an hour infomercial, but basically, Dishing Drama, Dana Wilkey is a podcast, and there are free episodes of Dishing Drama, Dana Wilkey on all the different outlets that everybody can listen to them, and they're marked free episode. If you want to try any episode, there's 10 minutes always released free. The rest of the episodes that I do are only available on the Patreon. And what happened was, over time, the Patreon developed more and more almost into my personal pop culture / gossip Reddit. Mm-hmm. And so in there is like a treasure trove of, the last, 15 months, very Bravo oriented, mm-hmm. Best of the best, of receipts, let's say. So it's videos, it's sometimes videos that I'm doing on a topic, like, recently a new cult has emerged that is called, 7 Film Entertainment, allegedly, or 7 Film, I'm adding entertainment, but they, are attracting dance social influencers, right? So I did a whole confessional video on that. Why? Because I think that's really so important to where we're standing in pop culture right now, and understanding like a cult is emerging from social media. That's like really important to note. And, analyzing, the Brian Laundrie interaction with the police and the 911 call. And when you really stop and study it, it's like really also so telling to where we are. They were social media influencers, which is why it became a phenomena. But like, if you watch those videos and listen to that call, it's something very, very different. So I created the Patreon to try to make people stop for a second and laugh and get drunk and see my stupid, which I do a lot of on there, but also to really say, listen, take note of this receipt. This is like a really important thing. Don't let this just pass you by. Don't take just a tabloid or a newspaper's position on it. Look at it for yourself. And that's why I really created the Patreon, because I wanted to learn a bunch of stuff, share it with a bunch of interesting people, and then collaborate around it or talk about it or brainstorm about it. And that's really what it is. It's a community of that. And I'm just creating entertainment content to get everybody engaged.
Yeah. And you do such an exciting, and I'm telling you, when I listen to anything or watch anything you do, Dana, it's like eating cotton candy, but with substance. Like and in all of the good ways. Like I remember listening to one of your bonus audios on Patreon when I was driving from my parents in South Jersey back to where I am on Long Island. And it was thrilling.
I'm so glad. Well, I work so hard at them. So what you were referring to before, which was my live, was SaraJane Warner, mm-hmm. who, by the way, you guys, if you don't know who SaraJane Warner is. She appears in The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 2. And she's the person that Whitney calls out on Real Housewives Salt Lake City season 2, part 2 reunion as the person to call in regards to Lisa saying Meredith was a slut. Okay.
Yeah, that hot mic moment.
Yeah. And I'm giving everyone all the wordings. You guys can follow along if you don't watch the show. Okay. And go look it up later. I try to do that. So like you can jump in, you know, if you're not in the know. But anyway, so I had reached out to SaraJane because I knew she was casting and she was in with the ladies. And, you know, I often will talk to a lot of the housewives like a therapist going through it because I am empathetic to their situation. And unlike a lot of the housewives on the show, I actually chose kind of a different route for myself. I realized when I was on the show, you know, I chose my friendship over the show. And so sometimes I will encounter some of the housewives that are struggling with this because you know, it is a shock to be on the show and it's like really hard. I don't think the fans ever really get how hard it is. And so I'll sometimes talk to them and they'll say, I don't know, like if I could do this, I don't know if I can be this dark, you know, like, and pretend it's really me. You know, and I feel the pressure and I want to be on the show, but like, I want to be me on the show. And I'm getting that they don't want me. They want like an idea maybe, or an element of me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And maybe to use, if it's okay, Dana, to use an anecdote from your own experience, like, cause you talk a lot about it at the beginning of your podcast is, that it really seemed that you and Brandi Glanville were being pitted against each other, but it was almost this competition of who can tell the most lies or like who can create a spectacle. And I don't know. I mean, am I getting that right? Or was there a different dynamic to that?
Well, the thing is, the mean girl dynamic that you sense in season 2 is really the housewives, you know, from season 1 saying, you know, in this competition that Evolution and Bravo put out, which was Brandi and I, who do you want to win? And in real life, the girls were friends with me and not Brandi. So that is why it appears like a mean girl club against Brandi. But in reality, in that season, what's really happening is the girls are trying to kind of produce me into a part because we were real friends and they were like, oh, it'd be so much better. And Brandi, to be, in all fairness to her, is great TV, but she's cutthroat. Like if you're married with a kid, she'll be like, you're cheating on your husband. Just say it. And even if that dynamic would cause you to break up your family, she doesn't care.
Yeah. And you'd say
she really didn't. She would do anything to be on the show.
Yeah. And you say like, this is a real relationship. Like, these women are married. Like that's not fake. That's not inauthentic. And I also remember you saying, especially during your game night that you hosted. I mean, I will have the image of you during game night, Dana, seared into my memory because
my shocked face. Like,
yeah, well, I actually think your hands are on your face. Like you can't even watch what's happening.
Well, I did not watch season 1, even though I'm on season 1. I never watched it. Okay. Cause I was like, this show is like, just silly. Like, I'm like, why would I watch this show? I'm living this show. So then in season 2, I wasn't equipped for what the show was. And the girls were very careful not to tell me the harder parts of the show at that time. Like they didn't go, you know, I even Taylor, who was my dear friend, she would say, well, last night was really rough. I mean, I don't know what's happening with the show. It's so weird. You know, it's like they were fighting and it's like, but I didn't really get the level Like I'm thinking like Beverly Hills luncheon, like, like little shade here and there, like we do, but not like full blown, throw the glass, screw you, bitch, like crazy stuff. Like it just, and it gets like more and more crazy as the seasons go on. It just was so strange. But so in that scene, I was really shocked because I'm like, what is happening? Now, I always say that had I, by season 3, if that had happened, I would have been, I would have probably done a backhand spring in the middle of the living room and landed it perfectly and been like, stop it, everyone step aside, because I would have gotten the, forget authentics, forget it, be entertaining, call it a day. Brandi, she got the assignment, she delivered, and I didn't. I really thought it was a show trying to be, you were trying to be real. And so, but what I did deliver was humor, which I was happy to do. I delivered authenticity, like, all the weird shit I do that everyone thinks is so iconic now was because I was being true to myself. It was, I was original in my small, influence that I gave that show. I was original because it was truly my weird, wacky way that I am. I wasn't trying to be cool or hip or like, oh, watch how, neat my thing. I really had a chef. I really taught my baby to read at 1. I was really that kind of a lunatic. I was that loony. Okay.
Yeah, no, I love the baby genius moment. Like when you have, what were those papers that were laying out on your table, Dana, with your baby?
I forget. I think I was showing I was showing that John was modeling at that time, my son, and I was teaching her about babies can read because I was a big advocate about, babies doing repetitive memory learning. And I used to do it with everything, math. I did dots. I did child sign language. I did, what else did I do? Encyclopedia training, language training. I mean, it was like ridiculous, but it was real, like 100%. Like I was like, I have one baby and I want him to, I can give him so much of my energy. And the one thing I was so into was just, developing your mind. I'm still into it. It's like what the Patreon is. Like I'm constantly asking people to think like for themselves. Keep an open mind and think like, gosh, it's really important. And when I go on YouTube, and I have a small channel on YouTube, it's called Dish Dana. That's free. It's just something I do additional. And, I do like 10-minute gossip sessions or whatever it is that floats my boat. It changes, I cover everything, anything that interests me, basically I cover. And, I guess when I'm in there on that, the YouTube channel, my biggest thing is just let's think. Let's not just get fed a bunch of stuff and just accept it. And let's not also cancel people that you don't agree with. Like that's how you evolve. I'm in the old days, like the Greeks and the Romans got together and fought in a room about things. And that's how some of the best ideas came from, that I miss that. Like, I feel like at another time that would have really suited me.
Yeah. Well, you're talking about critical reasoning, which is essential in our society and especially in pop culture. Like you don't just grab that magazine at the grocery store and think, oh yeah, Brad Pitt did such and such. That's true.
Yeah. And I feel like there's a think tank that you can, maybe I'm over intellectualizing it, but it's like there could, I want people to have think tanks. It doesn't have to be like a bunch of academics in a room having a think tank. Like it could be just like 8 girls in college, but I just want them all to do it, because it's really tells us so much about our culture.
Yeah, that's why you're here and I'm talking to you and we're coming from different spaces. But, like when I watch the Housewives, Dana, especially now, and this is why I love watching your recaps on YouTube, is I'm more interested in not the drama of what's happening in the show. Because to me, that's just soap opera. I'm more interested in like what's actually the dynamic behind the scenes. Like break that down. Like how much do they get paid? And all of those elements, not exactly who's feuding with who at that
Me too.
moment. Yeah.
Me too. Yeah. No, the dynamics of it, the emotional toll it's taking, or the fight, how is it, why I'm so with you. That's why I'm always looking for the truth.
Mhm.
That's why I'm always doing the analysis. I want people to look at it and say, God, Dana, I watched that video and I saw something totally different than you. I don't agree with that. And I'm like, and I get like great ideas from things when people do that. I think it's so amazing, and all of that is what I study, as you know, and I try to give people all of that. There won't be many secrets left soon. I'll have to stop the Patreon because I'm realizing, I'm like, wow, we've uncovered that. I mean, even like, for example, the last, the lives that I did with SaraJane Warner. I mean, look at how much came out of that. Like it was almost a better reunion than the reunion with what was being discussed, with SaraJane,
Yeah, no, it's true. Well, and that you keep getting evoked in the housewife universe. SaraJane Warner's getting evoked. Or I should say invoked. But I know, Dana, you can relate to me, like when we flub our totally. Words. But that, Teddy and Tamara are talking about you. Like your name is still always brought up as a touchstone.
Yeah, I'm attacked like by a lot of people. Like I am literally, I don't know what is the deal with me. There's like, I think I represent the rebellious one. Mm-hmm. I'm the one that, said no to production and then didn't let it define me. I went and did my own thing anyway. And then I came back and I broke all the rules. I did the shows they didn't want me to do. I talked about the stuff they said you can't. I went up against the people they said you should never say anything to. Like, I just said, no, I'm a rebel. I'm a Bravolebrity rebel.
Exactly. You lived your authentic self, and as always still do. And I can relate to that. When you take a stand and you're going to be who you are, it's almost, I can see that some of the housewives are using you as a warning. Like, well, look to Dana, like, see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of, well, you don't need me to be proud of you, Dana, but I am.
No, I want, Andrew, you're so important. Just like every single person, that I interact with, like all the people, like that's everything. I don't care about Andy Cohen. I care about you guys.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is
I work for you.
Yeah, but you are so responsive to the community, to your listeners. And what I love so much, Dana, is how it shines through that you really are an open book. And like, even with SaraJane Warner, just because I recently was listening to that reunion recap, there's a moment where you both are thinking about the LGBTQ plus community. And it was so heartwarming to hear how there was this evolution happening. I mean, are you comfortable speaking about that moment? Okay, hold on to that question because we'll be right back. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's me, Drew Offwallow, host of the Comment Section Show. Come join me and one of my iconic special guests every week on the show as we dive into the dreaded comment sections of our tagged videos and take down the most terrible men on the internet, period. Somehow, they won't go away no matter what I do, no matter how incredibly awful and mean I am to them, but I don't mind doing this work. In fact, if I'm being honest, I think it's God's work. So make sure y'all follow me on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts for new episodes every Wednesday.
With Sarah
Yes.
Jane?
Yeah,
because I realized that, for Sarah Jane, like so many people, she was thinking that, we were talking about her religion and it had come up on Housewives. She's an active Mormon, and she's, very, very pro-Mormon. I am like, again, a rebel. I have no religion. I'm just like, doing, believing in whatever I believe in at the time. But she was trying to articulate that she supports the LGBTQ community and that the allegations that the Mormon church doesn't is false, that in fact, they give money to the LGBTQ community and they do all these very supportive, actions, if you will. And I said to her, I really appreciate what you're trying to say, but I have now honed in and listening to you where the disconnect is, which Heather Gay is representing on the Salt Lake City as an inactive member of the Mormon church, which is your definition of support, and Heather's are different. Okay. And Heather's definition is more aligned with what I think is the correct approach in a sense, but I need to bridge it for you because I don't think you understand it. Because being LGBTQ, because my family, I have quite a few members that are in that community, is not a choice. It is not about a sexual orientation. It is who you are. And you can't say that a church or anything is being supportive if there isn't a path in it for you. You can't, it's like me saying to you, Sarah Jane, you're born with blonde hair, so you can't really be in my church, but I'll give you money. Okay. Does that, no. So I asked her on that to go back to her after the show. I said, you need to go and speak to the leadership in your Mormon church, and you need to make them understand this, that they can't alienate people that are who they are. Like because they were born, like I said, being born with blonde hair, it's like you can't. You've got to. It's more than giving money and wow, go you and yay everybody, and it's more than that.
Yeah, well, that meant so much, Dana, because I mean, I've been out as gay since I was a freshman in high school. Now I'm 29.
Gosh, you're so bright for 29.
Oh, Dana. I'm blushing here. But it meant so much because I had those conversations. I especially remember, and they mean so well. And this is why I agree with you that if someone, their intention isn't to harm you, but they are expressing an ingrained belief like what you're describing. I remember I had a friend as an undergrad, and she was Jehovah's Witness, and we were just chatting, having a nice time at a coffee shop in North Jersey. And I said, I'm gay. I don't know, got into my life. And she said, oh, I have so many gay friends, but one of them doesn't want to be a Jehovah's Witness anymore because he thinks they are discriminating against him. But we love all LGBTQ people, but they just can't act on their inclination, right? So it kind of, that really related when that moment happened in your recap, Dana, because I've had those conversations. So
that support, that isn't the support. That's the difference. So support by being like, yeah, you be you do you, but not over here.
Yeah.
Right. Or,
exactly.
Or here's some money. Thanks. That's not the support that we're looking for. Right. We're looking for I'm born this way support.
Exactly. And I lost a friend who I've always kept the door open because that's who I am, Dana. Like the door is always open. I'm not going to delete you off the face of the earth because I don't believe in that unless, like I said, you've done something really egregious. But my one friend is now evangelical Christian, and she said she wouldn't come to my wedding if I married a man. And I said, wait, but you're my friend. You're not showing me understanding of who I am. Like, I don't know how we can continue this relationship. But it's tough, right? It's tough when the other person closes the door. But I do really think, Dana, like what you demonstrate is if you have an open ear, you usually can find a common ground. Or like you said, I love that term, bridging. You can bridge.
Well, that's it, because my goal at the end of the conversation actually wasn't to convert her to something that I believe or anything. It was to draw her attention to the fact that it falls short, and to please go to people within her organization to try to rectify this problem as an active Mormon influencer, to go and make them think of it different. Take a look at what they look like and go to that guy who's the head of the church, and whatever he looks like, say, because you look like that and you were born that way, you can't really be in our church.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way you're going to know what it's like. So I said, whatever he says, whatever he looks like, call it out and be like, that means you can't be in. And you're born that way. And when he says to you, but I can't unborn myself, then be like, exactly. Now fix your religion, or figure out the proper way to support.
Exactly. Yeah. And something that I think you teach us, Dana, from the show, right? From the reality universe, is that moment, and we don't have to relitigate it, but there's this moment in the reunion in season 2 when I really understand what you meant by, like, you were living 2 separate lives. Do you remember that?
Yeah. About being, because I had been poor.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I went from being poor to being thrust into my father's world when my mom passed away. Yeah. And I had to suddenly, compete with some of the richest girls in New York, and to be worth something. And it was all financial.
Yeah.
And
what was the prep school you went to again in Manhattan?
Nightingale in Bamford.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm assuming that there were socialites and it was very global.
It was, I went to school with Hope Perlman, Ronald Perlman's daughter, the Steuben Glass family, it goes on and on. But, because my coming to terms with the fact that why was I so pretentious? Why was it so important to me? It was because I was trying to get self-worth from what I felt like gave it to me, because when I went to New York, that was what I was sort of thrown into. I was made to feel less than because I didn't come from what they were coming from. And, even when you had wealth in that environment, it was like, well, it's not the right kind of wealth. Right. So there, I guess this ties back to our earlier conversation, which is is ever anything good enough for anyone, really?
It's true. It's true.
Geez.
Well, it's a whole new old money fight that the Great Gatsby epitomized.
Yeah, exactly. It's very destructive. I mean, it's very destructive. It's, everything is about, it's so important to be inclusive. Exactly. Whenever you alienate anyone for any reason, even in a bully in a class, it's dangerous.
Exactly.
It's really dangerous. And if you study pop culture for that reason, if nothing else.
No, so true. And I'm just curious, because I know listening to all the interviews you do, Dana, and all of your content, you've been really wanting to go to Salt Lake City. Have you gone yet to Salt Lake City?
No, I used to do the Sundance Film Festival, all the movie premieres for 9 years in a row. So I'm pretty familiar with, Utah and Salt Lake City. I've also gone to some weird Indian reservations and done some weird, take some peyote and trip out.
Well, I have a friend who's a professional musician, and she would tell me about all these retreats. of paoli. So no, I mean, I didn't do it, Dana, because I can't do that isolation. Because her retreats, she couldn't even talk to anyone.
Mine were really cool. They were like, some are foofy, like rich people versions. And then some were like more hardcore, like all about I remember one retreat I did in Salt Lake City. We all went out in like the mountain or whatever. And we dressed up in wedding dresses and we married ourselves.
That actually sounds really affirming. That's a self-empowerment exercise. Affirming.
It was, but I'm just telling you the wacky stuff.
No, I do.
Okay.
It's like performance art in a way. I love it.
Where we started, did you know 25,000, where we ended up in a wedding dress married to yourself in the mountains.
But that's what I love about talking with you, Dana, is all these topics. It's the stream of consciousness conversation. Like, so you have so many memories that you bring to bear to these questions. And like, the reason I asked about Salt Lake City is I actually went when I was a child and have such fond memories. Like it has such a, like, when I was a child, I wasn't looking at it this way, but I know it has such a queer culture. Like, it's actually very feminist. Like, it is a very empowering city, which is intriguing to me because maybe that's why I love watching the Salt Lake City so much, or maybe it's because I'll give my hot take. I am a huge Lisa Barlow fan. Like, I like watching her. I like watching Lisa Barlow.
Okay, so talk to me about, I'm going to be now the interviewer.
Go ahead. You can switch. That's fine. Yeah.
So talk to me about what do you connect with Lisa Barlow's character?
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because I see tendencies of myself of like the bluntness or being from the Northeast. I feel like I talk like Lisa Barlow sometimes. But I think I like the performance she's giving. Like, I can tell she really wants to connect to each woman. But like, I can see where the discord is happening. Like, for some reason, there's just cohesion isn't working out like that, which I think makes a great show. That you could tell it from the beginning. Her and Meredith were friends for 10 years, and season 1, they're thick as thieves. And then, okay, surprise, surprise, they're falling out in season 2. I mean, I'm not surprised. I just feel like that's the tragedy of their friendship in a storyline. Like, were you surprised?
No friendship survives.
No.
Housewives. I always tell the women.
Yeah, you say that all the time.
Yep. Yeah. I say, just forget your friends that you had. Anyone who refers you to the show or whatever, just go on knowing that you can't do the show and be their friend.
Yeah. I mean, also, I'm biased, Dana, as we all are. I message the most with Lisa out of the Housewives.
Okay, so talk to me about that. Let's go. Spill it, sis.
Okay. Well,
have another sip of your rosé.
No, I shouldn't have had the rosé, Dana. This is why I don't do it.
Baby.
Well, a lot of the messaging, I think it's more that I connect to her when I message her because like, she appreciates the fans a lot. And that means a lot to me, that she, or any person, appreciates, like you said, appreciates who's watching and who's consuming the art. And I guess I'm just biased. Like, when someone doesn't respond to me, I form my own opinion. I mean, I even have messaged Jen Shah. I mean, well, if it's Jen Shah or not, who knows? But so
let me ask you a question about Lisa Barlow. What is the most impactful thing she texted back to you of all the DMs?
Oh my. I should have gone through and scrolled, but well, I think
you can scroll and edit it out later.
No, it's fine. You know, I actually do remember, Dana. It's her entrepreneurial advice. That's what I'm most curious about. I mean, I'm trying to interview her, but not about the gossip. Like, I just want to know how she went from like Albany, New York area, which, you know, being in Manhattan, Albany, like that's not, I mean, it's the capital, but it's not directly connected to the fashion and the arts and culture. But like going from there to then living in Manhattan to then she converted to Mormonism because of her parents, but she's raised Jewish. Well, I guess she wasn't raised Jewish. They were like secular. But then she goes to Brigham Young University. Then she becomes a like entrepreneur with her businesses. And I'm just curious about her past because it is really fascinating. And then how she got involved with Sundance. I'm still trying to piece all the narrative together.
Yeah, I'm perplexed about Sundance. Okay, so let me now, full disclosure.
Yeah.
Okay, because you know how I am. So Lisa Barlow, I think, has embraced becoming sort of a bit of a villain on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fans always really appreciate when someone does that because they know that they're kind of taking it for the team and they're doing a great job at doing it. So they protect the person, right? Yeah. I think Lisa Barlow is I find her character to be a little bit performed.
Yeah.
I don't believe her house depicts her. I don't believe she shows her relationship with her husband on camera. Like, I do believe she shows an idea of her children that she, is true. Like, she really believes in having her sons be entrepreneurial and keeping them. I do believe that's authentic. Yeah. I find, I feel that she sets things in motion and is what I call the secret producer of the show, which means she's working with the producers to set up instances of things happening. And I believe that the women resent her for it because she has control a little bit of the storyline because of the ear that she has with production and vice versa. There is a secret resentment that occurs that you guys don't see with the cast members when that happens. Okay. Because I mean, you can almost shout them out in each show. Lisa Rinna, Kyle Richards. I mean, I could, right. Mm-hmm. For a while, Bethany Frankel, Yeah. And so what I struggle with her is I don't really know that any of it's real, except maybe the kids. And like the tequila company, when you look at the SEC filing, which I did, of course, as part of my Patreon.
No, that's what you do. That's why we go to you, Dana.
The tequila company is very cookie cutter in the way that she's approached the creation of it. She's using like plug and play vendors. She was raising a very small amount of money, which to me was strange. Prior to, the tequila company, I had never heard of her in Sundance ever, nor had I heard of her tequila company. And I stopped really doing the Sundance Film Festival. I think it was probably in 2000. I want to say maybe 2010 maybe was my last year of doing it. Like maybe she came up after me, which I've always said is a possibility. But like, I don't know, to be the queen of Sundance, like I would have heard something.
No, I hear you, Dana. I mean, I will say I have Fresh Wolf products.
Well, did she send it to you? Because if so, you've been bought and I can't trust your opinion anymore.
No. I bought them. Okay. And I actually do enjoy.
I'll find out if you didn't.
No. I enjoy the hair gel. Wouldn't that be great if I was like Lisa Barlow's spokesperson?
No, listen.
No. I will say.
Jen Shaw sent in the beginning of the season of season 1, Jen Shaw sent gift baskets to all the influencers to get them on side before the show aired.
Yeah. I mean, what I will say is I haven't been able to get the Vita tequila, Dana.
Well,
Yeah.
no one, and that's another thing that's really strange is that her distribution is only with the wine store or whatever it is, and it's
Yeah.
very limited. And she doesn't give out bottles of it very often. Now, why is that weird? Well, when you've worked in Sundance like I have with people like Patron and the like that were huge sponsors of the Sundance Film Festival for years, you're used to them giving tequila away a lot, in kind to anybody that's an influencer or, throwing an event that's high profile. I mean, that's what you do. So again, it seems odd that the product's held so tightly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, just so Lisa doesn't turn on me. Well, she wouldn't turn on me.
She turned on me, honey, not you. Now you know why everyone's coming for me, guys.
No.
But out by now.
I will say that I can tell, especially from SaraJane Warner's conversation with you, Dana, that Lisa, if you have conflict with her, this is where, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, but if you don't go along with her self-producing, like you using your words, Dana, you're not beneficial to the show, like to her relationship in the show.
Yeah. And then she might take you out.
Yeah. And again, it kind of reminds me of what you said about Brandi and like the lies Brandi said. I mean, we're not going to talk about the bathroom, but let's just say Brandi in the bathroom.
Coke in the bathroom or crystal meth in the bathroom.
Yeah. I mean,
I was like, oh my God, if she did crystal meth in the bathroom, she'd still be in there today. Like 5 years later, drawing a picture on a toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, and that scene, like what is so intriguing to me. I know you said you're not going to recap the second season of Ultimate Girls Trip, but what's going to just intrigue me as a viewer of the entertainment value is the chaoticness of this cast. Like from Brandi to Taylor to oh my gosh, Jill Zarin to Dorinda. Like it's gonna be a hot mess, Dana.
Oh, I know. And I can't wait for you to tell me it all. I can't watch it because to me, it was, how do I say it? The first season I did cover, I guess I'm bitter because the only season I would have ever considered doing was Ultimate Girls Trip season 2, because I have unfinished business with Taylor Armstrong, my friend from, or my ex-friend, I should say, from the first few seasons of Housewives of Beverly Hills, but also Brandi Glanville and I have, an open feud that we still had that is unfinished business. And so for me, like, that would have been the only season I would have gone on. And now I don't I'm just not going to play it out off, forget it. So I'm just going to forget that season and move on to the next one.
Yeah. And I think that's a very good boundary.
Yeah.
Right. Learning about a boundary. And wait, who did I say? Because I know I sent you, because Dana and I do message. But DM. Yes, we DM that Taylor Armstrong. She was just interviewed by a podcast. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna probably forget who, but that she mentioned someone, the host said, "Oh, what's going on with Dana Wilkey?" And she's like, "Well, I think she was in Miami when I last heard from her, but," and then just like moved on to another response. It was like,
yeah, no, it was like, so basically what I don't know for sure, but what I think happened is somehow before Shot Shocker on Hulu and before Housewife and the Hustler on Hulu, I somehow was blacklisted by Andy Cohen. And I don't know what, there's been different speculation that it was like a story he was told about me or something. It may have been even Taylor who told him the story. I don't know. But I was like sabotaged in some way with him in a really deep way. And I don't know to this day what it is. But what I can say is that Taylor has repeatedly, and Bravo has repeatedly tried to wipe me from the history of the show. And in fact, the fans are the only ones that say no. Like, no matter what they do, they, you know, and it's not even like I was off social media for like 8 years and like they just didn't let it go. They were like, no, sorry, we're not letting you scrub her. And I don't know why, but I appreciate it because now it's allowed me to do what I'm doing now, which I control my own world now, which is where I'm happiest.
Exactly.
I want Andy Cohen's job, make no mistake.
Well, I always say he is the ultimate housewife.
Yeah. I mean, you know, why
he's
settle
thirsty,
on
Dana. He's thirsty. I have never seen him on Fire Island, but he's a thirsty guy.
Yeah, you know, he would admit it. He would admit that he likes to be famous.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and if I don't get this right, of course, I'll give the right credit, but I think it was No Filter Zach. I'm pretty sure that was when Taylor was being interviewed.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. And I thought that was it was great that he tried to push the question.
No, I was so happy.
She did what she always does, which is like basically kind of pretend like it never happened. Yeah. You know, like, oh, she's in Miami and then I moved to Colorado and then I lost it.
Yeah. Well, like as we're nearing our end, I have to advocate for you because I unfollowed PK after what happened with you, Dana, because I'm sorry, but
after he said he was going to put me in the bottom of a lake.
Like, yeah.
Or PK, was it track?
Like his misogyny is just knows no bounds with you, Dana. And on your behalf, Dana, I'm here for you. And I do not know what's going on in his psyche, but he keeps coming for you. And I think that Dorit needs to have a conversation with PK.
Well, it is very strange. She likes his comments and thumbs them up and all that stuff. So she's obviously on board. I don't really get it myself. You know, it started off as the see you next Tuesday of the week. And then it, you know, evolved into I look like Shrek and I'm the see you next Tuesday of the week again. And then it was a joke about a nosy see you next Tuesday at the bottom of a lake. And I'm the bottom of the lake, I guess, because in the comments, he was allegedly saying that, you know, I was about me or like laughing about it with other people that it was about me, you know, and then and of course, he's tight with Teddy Mellencamp and she has come for me a few times in different ways, which I'm cool with. I actually get why Teddy did a little better than PK. I don't really get his, you know, he likes to say that, you know, I'm somehow gossiping about him in a way that isn't like factual. And it's just not the way that I do things. Like everything I do, I back up with my points of fact, right? Or
yeah, you have receipts.
I'll say like, I'm not sure about this. I often don't believe stuff and I'll debunk it for people. Like, you know, I'll say this is what the fans believe and it's this, and then I'll say, but I believe that if I bother to do it. Sometimes we're having like a silly show and I don't care. We're just having fun. But there's, you know, when there's something that comes up and someone asks me of my opinion, just like I did with the Lisa Barlow conversation from tonight, I anchor it into real things. That I have my own experiences. So I don't just like talk shit. You know, like,
yeah, you're just not pulling things from thin air.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm like, whatever. And I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of knowledge.
Lisa has some kind of conspiracy with Taco Bell.
Yeah, no, I'm right. Well, maybe she's getting a product placement opportunity with Taco Bell.
I mean, I just have to say, I need to know what her non-workout is to maintain that experience with fast food.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm not buying what she's selling.
No, I'm like, I think there's some workout regimen happening.
Like, I'm sorry. Anytime someone with like a ripped body is like, I eat Taco Bell every day and I don't work out, I'm like, just shove it. Okay. Because you know, that girl is like getting up at 6 before anyone is awake and working out totally and doesn't eat Taco Bell. Like,
well, I'm like, maybe by saying getting Taco Bell, you're like eating one of those cinnamon twists.
Yeah, right. I don't know. Like, how do you say you're not really eating Taco Bell while eating Taco Bell?
No, I know. Well, this Dana, I have to ask you one last question if you'll let me.
Of course, babe.
Okay.
Oh, I want to say one thing really
Go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead.
You know, the upcoming season of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is coming up, and there's a new cast member coming on, which is Diana Jenkins. And she is the Rosetta Stone of all gossip. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Now, I did a deep dive on her. It's in the Patreon, but I did a 2-hour special that I haven't released yet, but it's coming out May 11th, right around May 11th. So you just get ready because this is it. This is everything. Like she's next level shit. Okay.
Oh, I am so ready, Dana. And hopefully you will come back to the Ivory Tower Boiler Room in the late summer once Beverly Hills, it won't be finished until the fall, right?
No, it's supposed to come out in May.
Okay, but when will the season end?
Oh, which one? What do you mean?
Like, when will Beverly Hills, like, when will their new reunions happen?
Oh, that'll be late. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, well, if you are available, Dana, you are welcome back to unload about it.
Andrew, like, I would ever let you I'm going to be like, you put me on your show right now. I've got shit to say.
The same goes for me too, Dana. If you just need me to, like, first of all, wait, how old is Casey now? I have to be careful.
Oh, Casey Hanley? He's like your age.
Wait, I thought he was like 20.
No, oh my God, he's gonna love you. I'm gonna
first of all, Casey's
Hanley's my producer on
your producer.
Drama Dana, and he's very cute, and he's like in his, I think he's maybe late 20s, early 30s. And
okay, well, I will come on and meet Casey as a blind date, Dana.
You should crush on Casey. He's totally a good crush.
Well, and everyone
responsible too.
And I feel like everyone who I am connecting with, they're all going to Miami. I'm like, wait, am I being drawn to Miami?
Yeah, Miami is, I mean, it's so fun. Actually, Casey was just there and I wasn't. I was in Massachusetts and Casey was in Miami. And I'm like, wow, that's ironic. I said, did you plan that? Trying to avoid
I love Massachusetts though, Dana. I am a Salem fan. Like, I will live in Salem. I love the history. But again, Dana has a lot of cool Salem Patreon content.
I do. And I did there's like a movement called Identifying as a Witch that's happening in Danvers and Salem in that area. That's the old Salem. And then there's this other thing. There's like they've gotten really defined the Wicca religion. It's like a whole nother thing. There's like all these, like it's its own world there even. Like,
yeah, no, it's a cool place. And I had a family vacation for the first time in the Berkshires this summer, which was really nice. But
yeah, that's like a great holiday. I'm going to East Hampton this summer.
Yes, you need to reach out to me, Dana. I will
I will.
I will meet you and David. Like, I'm only 40 minutes to the Hamptons. So
yeah.
No, but wait, so my last question is this. Out of all of the Housewives franchises, which I don't know how we can keep track of them all, which one would you want to go in just to maybe start something or, have your quirkiness on display? Like, which franchise would you want to jump into right now?
Well, now you know why I'm pissed about Ultimate Girls Trip season 2, which I was not in. That was the only one I would have ever done. So the only one, like, people were DMing me and they're like, look, they're doing a Friends of, you should tell Aunt, try to make up with Andy all this time. I was like, I'm never going on the Friends of show. Like, what? Like, are you serious right now? Like, come on. It's just, the only reason to go on that show is to have an authentic friendship because that's good TV. I promise you, it's better than manufactured stuff. Okay. Take it from me. Second of all, there's a reason the first, few seasons of the shows are the best, because it isn't just that it's new. It's that it is real. And that's why it's awesome. It's like crazy.
No, it's true. It's true.
It is. And so that the reason I would have done Ultimate Girls Trip is I could have been true to myself. And they could have gone on it and they could have been like, Taylor, I really resent you for trying to not being a friend for me like I was you. And I'd go on to Brandi and I'd say, Brandi, I really don't understand like why you keep getting plastic surgery and what the hell is wrong with you. Like, love yourself, like stop messing with your face. Like,
I'm not going to step into that, Dana, but
if you listen, Google it. What can I tell you? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, it.
Yeah. Brandi is a vine. That's how I'll put it. But
and who's afraid of Brandi?
No, well, the thing is, like, I can see her calculatedness, and it frightens me. Yeah, I am a little.
She's not that calculated. She's just says anything. She just doesn't care at all.
Yeah, so she wants to be in the limelight,
and that's okay. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you dish it out, honey, you better be able to take it. And boy, does she dish it, let me tell you. So that's why I have no guilt in this conversation about her face.
Yeah, well, moving from Brandi to conclude, you are always traveling around. Like, I know now you're traveling to Florida again, but like, which city do you feel the most comfortable in? Or are you just a nomad, Dana? Like, you like the nomadic life?
I do. I really like to travel. And I did that for work. I was all over the world for my work. I used to do product placement in films, and I ran an ad agency for a while, and I did a whole bunch of different stuff. And so, I did events and Cannes. And, so for me, I love new cultures and people and partying in different places with different people. And, I get sick of things really quickly.
Yeah,
I want to be challenged. Yeah, I want to be challenged, challenge me. And that's when I'm afraid, or like, I don't feel comfortable, or like, oh my gosh, should I do that? That's when I need to do it. Like, I've got to do what I'm afraid of, because that's when I'm going to grow. I hate being a stagnant human. It drives me nuts.
Wow. Well, again, Dana delivering the wisdom. You always. Oh my gosh, Dana.
What has gotten into me, Andrew?
You do, though. Well, thank you so much, Dana. Again, the door is open.
I should have worn my Yoda pajamas for tonight's show.
But I want you back again. We're going to do it once Beverly Hills is out, and we can just figure out what's. Wait, what?
We can do a commentary one.
I would love that. Yes, let's do it. Let's do it.
You have to be judgy, though. It's not fun if you're not a little judgy.
I'll be a little more judgy when I'm not, in my hosting role. If I'm just relaxing with some rosé and seeing Casey.
I'm going to don't worry. I'll tell you what, on the next one, we'll invite Casey in so you can flirt with him.
Okay. There you go. That'll be a little more,
that'll judgy. Be good. I love it.
I'll be a little more sassy.
Okay, perfect. Bring it, sis. Bring it.
Well, our listeners have gotten a treat. Hopefully they're indulging in rosé or whatever your beverage is of choice. If you're having coffee right now, you're probably running up the wall. So thank you so much, Dana. This was just wonderful. It's wonderful to talk with you. Yeah, you made my dreams come true, literally.
Andrew, you're too kind to me, honest to gosh. I need to think of something to say wrapping this up. Let's see. How about, I know. Did you know? Go ahead, say it. You got to say what? Tell me.
What? Tell me.
Okay. Did you know? 25,000.
I love it. That's how we have to end. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Mwah.
We hope you enjoyed this Ivory Tower Boiler Room or True Crime in Academia episode. You can watch our video versions of our episodes on patreon.com/Ivory Tower Boiler Room. Join at the price of an iced coffee, or join as an Ivory Tower member and get some of our exclusive merchandise. I could not be here without an amazing team. So I'm Andrew Rimby, the executive director, and I am joined with Mary DePippi, our chief contributor, who hosts True Crime in Academia. It comes out on Tuesdays. Jaron Usta is our marketing director, and our two interns are Nicole Arguello and Kimberly Dallas. And I'm actually here with Mary. So Mary, where can they follow us on social media?
You can find us on TikTok and Instagram at Ivory Tower Boiler Room. On Twitter, we are at Ivory Boiler Room. And then just search the Ivory Tower Boiler Room on Facebook and you can like our page there.
Wonderful. And we, Mary and I and the whole team, hope you all are healthy and happy. And we can't wait to join you and, have you all join us in the Ivory Tower Boiler Room next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.